Kachenu, NamRA nchi yetu, NamRA Kachenu, NamRA nchi yetu, NamRA Kachenu, NamRA nchi yetu, NamRA Kachenu, NamRA nchi yetu.
NamRA, serving with passion.
Hello and welcome to this edition of NamRA Kachenu, where the focus is on tax, customs and excise matters. I'm Shipena Njambiko Hanga, keeping you company for the next half an hour or so. In today's episode, there is yet another capacity building initiative for NamRA staff. NamRA, in collaboration with the World Customs Organization, recently launched the time release study in Namibia. Last but not the least, our stakeholders' engagement goes to Oshana region. All that and more will be coming to you in a while. NamRA ranks high the need to capacitate its staff, and in line with that objective, parallel training was held on risk management and rules of origin recently. Let's have a quick look at that.
Where there needs to be refresher training or induction training for newcomers to the service, then we can be putting in a suitable package of training that will really raise levels of performance and efficiency. So thank you very much for coming today. We're great to see you all, and we'll be working with you and across all of your regimes in the next couple of weeks or so. So thank you.
For risk management and training services, the objective, as earlier indicated, is this review for the delivery and training materials. Then, of course, but one which is also key of the objective is the provision of mentoring support, technical guidance, and training in risk management. That's why I'm saying we have to do things very differently. When we have specialized training like this, and the leadership is there to support one another and to take ownership and to understand the importance of this training, this is what is meant to become a world-class revenue agency. Because when you work in NamRA, you must not just focus on your area where you have been recruited. When you understand all the other function of Namibia Revenue Agency, when you understand our mandate and you understand all the insight of this institution, you will be in a position to be a better leader for Namibia Revenue Agency. If you take your work very serious, if you take this type of training and you put more effort and more energy and you get to become an expert as well, if other people can become expert, you can as well equally become an expert, and your knowledge and skills will be in demand from other revenue agency, by other developmental institutions. And there is nothing that is more professionally fulfilling than when you know that you can work beyond even up to 80 because you have developed yourself to be an expert. I have said this many times and I will repeat it again. There are no world-class institutions. There are world-class individuals and professionals. It's people that work in those institutions when they have expert knowledge, professionalism, accreditation like this. Then when we have more people working according to the best practice that you can find in any other center of excellence or world-class institution, then we can then build a world-class. So Ben, we are very, very proud of your achievement. I think your achievement is going to inspire other colleagues also to know that when you get a certification like this, I'll tell you what, it's much better valued and valuable than even a 4-year degree sometimes. Because the 4-year degree that sometimes we do at university, yes, they help us to qualify to get into the interview. But sometimes most of the things that we have learned at the university, we really forget. What we use in our daily work is what we get from the workshop, what we read from the book, what our mentor have shown us. I want to officially, on behalf of NamRA, we want to congratulate you. We also have a book here for you.
So in the case of Ben, he only went with me on an accreditation workshop in November last year in Botswana. And during this week, he really showed us that he is a brilliant facilitator. He has excellent knowledge on origin. He is very, very capable of passing this knowledge on, and he likes to do it. I can see that. Pass this knowledge on to participants. And I can tell you that it's not that between 2017 and now that I haven't talked to Ben. We have been in contact all along, because that is so important to keep up to date with what is happening.
It's been a long journey. It was tough. It's a lot of research and hard work. But if a person with a full-time family like me can do it, imagine that single lady over there can do it in less years than what I have achieved. Also, more often we depend on consultants to come ask us the questions and write a report of what we told them. So why not us do it ourselves? So this is what really inspired me, that do the accreditation. You know that you will not be forever employed by government or by NamRA, and then there is work, there is life after NamRA. The universities are opening up customs qualifications. If you are WCO accredited, you can be a part-time lecturer. If you are WCO accredited, NamRA can outsource you to do some jobs for them. So really, I would encourage you. The problem with my colleagues at NamRA is we don't open the laptops on literature that is work-related. We open the laptops on social media gossip. But my advice to you today is go on WCO. When you go to the office, you open your email. That's the first thing you do. Second thing, open the WCO page. That is my daily routine, in that order.
In accordance with the trade facilitation objective, NamRA joined the World Customs Organization to accelerate the trade facilitation program in launching the time release study. Now, the time release study is a strategic and internationally recognized tool used to measure the actual time required for the release and clearance of goods. Now, the event took place on the 7th of February 2023 at the port of Walvis Bay. Let's have a look at a few highlights from that event.
I strongly believe, and with much conviction, that anything that we can do in Walvis Bay, it ideally represents more than 90% of the other borders and other customs offices. So if it will work here, it's likely to work for other borders and offices. The TRS is a very, very important component in the process of clearance of goods. Now, the main reason we are doing this, apart from enhancing efficiency and effectiveness, I want us all to take this as an advantage, to use this tool as a booster to recovery and relief and resilience to the aftermath of the COVID-19.
As Namibians, we need to take ownership of this program. You have an institution like WCO, and of course a revenue agency, or His Majesty Revenue and Customs from the UK, taking its fund, its money to support us. But we need to know that we need to take ownership. We need to do this for ourselves. The benefits that will accrue as a result of a project like this is to Namibia and to the future generation. And therefore, it must just not be about adopting or getting this project so that we tick it off, to say it's another custom modernization ticked off. We must ensure that it reaches its logical conclusion so that Namibia and the future generation will continue benefiting from a project like this. And therefore, I would then want to encourage all stakeholders to do what our President, Dr. Hage Geingob, have advised us all to do. He argued and said, please Namibian, hold hand and move in the same direction. The technical working group, as you are going to continue with your workshop and also collecting the data and putting together the report, always be reminded about that advice of holding hand. And if someone is not bringing their part, those who are not here and maybe they are not present, please just remind them, let's hold hand. This is bigger than all of us. This is for Namibia. Nobody is going to do this for us. The political leadership have already ensured that Namibia has signed that convention, that trade facilitation agreement. Now it's for us as technocrats, it's for us as technocrats and members of this public institution to make sure that that agreement or that international obligation is given effect. Do not wait. Of course, the UK have done their part. Donya and her team have done their part. Christopher, Guy and Stephen, they have done they will do their part. But it's for us. Who else is going to do this for us? Who else is going to build Namibia for us?
I'm very mindful and of course very respectful that some of the governmental agencies here today, your key objective is the safety and security of the people of Namibia. So that can never be jeopardized. But I hope that we all realize and acknowledge and appreciate that when you have increased compliance, you can also have increased trade facilitation. So the TFA is not just about trade facilitation, it's also the other side of the coin. It's really about elevating the levels of compliance. So simply put, the TFA is meant to make it easier for companies to trade. And that will then, of course, generate more trade flows, more revenue, more prosperity. And it's about, like I said, removing border inefficiency. So in that sense, it's very much a common sense agreement. Who can be against removing red tape? And that brings us to global value chains and global supply chains. Because when it comes to investment, which big company would like to invest or get their goods from a country if they cannot rely on the time at the border, right? If goods get stuck at the border.
The World Customs Organization is always quick to remind us that borders may divide us, but customs connect us. The World Customs Organization demonstrates this connection by supporting customs administrations around the world to strategically implement the initiatives under the Trade Facilitation Agreement of the World Trade Organization. Ladies and gentlemen, I also want to take this opportunity to thank our experts, Stephen, Tijan, and Christoph, who dedicated weekly sessions starting last year to capacitating the members of the National Technical Working Group who will guide us to use accepted methodology that is adopted by the World Customs Organization to conduct our very first time release study here at the port of Walvis Bay in the next coming days.
On the 27th of January 2023, NamRA held a very successful stakeholders engagement in Oshakati, Oceania region. As we continue with deliberate education and information sharing, let's look at what transpired on that day.
Now, if you owe us money, if you owe NamRA money, put it that, not us money, if you put the government money, it's government's money in fact, and you come to our offices, we do not just decide like in, you owe us 100,000, you have to pay us 50,000 for 2 months. Usually it's a matter of discussion. We discuss, we negotiate, we see what you can afford. And usually then we sign agreement, which is called the payment plan. We sign an agreement where we say, but okay, we've agreed now. We have agreed that this is how it should be paid. That's what's the procedures. If it's been done differently in our office, please let me know. And then we'll look into it. Because it should be an agreement. The only time when when we make a decision is when the taxpayer don't come and negotiate or come to us and talk to us. How will we know what you can afford or not? We won't know if you don't come to us and say, but listen, this is on the table, that's what I can afford, and we talk about it.
NamRA oyatulirwapo okulongera oshiwana sha Namibia. And later on when I speak about the mandate of NamRA, you will understand that NamRA is here to positively impact the livelihood of every Namibian. And I tell people, there are some business people as well who say that no, NamRA have got no any impact on me. I did no business, I don't need my work and be independent. I do not depend on government tender. Now I'm going to have your o NamRA nangwe o ikulire poshashi ngero NamRA itairongo ne iture mo koi collecting o mpali da wana ndo NamRA jometa ikara ikenendo kronde da dipopina police standi ndire opoturo turongere kumenga shingata turongere kumere atuninge shwa kucho revenue shwango shetu ya gamen shaikenda imagine nanando ngwe ndishingwe onange shefane kuno tenda de pangero ngwete kuchano kuino kumba shepangero andiro ngwera nduku shirongoshi. Much of the spending in this country is by government, not by private sector. And even if you don't get government tender, it's still government's funds that stimulate this economy. Mara imagine ika ando NamRA njino tuja ike mombero ata tukotha itaturongo ngashi omveta tetina turonge de tatukareke ngashinde shimona mirongo imwe ya Afrika de commissioners Zakaria we at school together and also we worked was in Istimo, I was in Istimo. The imagine I can do the commissioner na usikucho puniro mo ibepu na police o mwedinda tutabika piteki na ya futo salary shashika puna shimali. Nengi imagine I can o business hawe and tutayamwe ta yakanenge ta kustamonga shishi ya khara. De stodengero police o police de kolongore kuche uchano ngodi tayamkula sashongo de atepa ko telecom. Yo no fue de one ingine kucho pamoja wa ikone na tango tako tukuchasita tufuru kuya shashi ya auto de party for the taker ningeje kwa tukani ni ikuti. So no matter whether you are a business person or whatever, we all need the state to have capacity to be able to fund all the social development program and to fund institutions like the army, the police, so that we can all live in peace and order. I have lived in a country that did not have peace. Conflict is Istimo for 2 years. No matter how much money you have now, you will never want to. I'll guarantee you that. And therefore, a country whose state revenue is very weak, that state that people can just do as they please, wish for it now. If that happened, you will never appreciate it here.
We have accepted and we believe, and it's voluntarily in us, that yes, we have breached that social contract between citizen and economy, meaning that we are embracing the payment of taxations. So let me not make a statement, and I know what I was supposed to say, and the concern of the business communities, because they are ever day and night calling me wherever we have problems. It's a problem. And I always say, yes, we can see when time is more befitting and timely, we'll be able to look at matters, which is very directly, affecting our communities. So given the speech I've prepared, I am not going to continue. I know, there's much more to be done, and I believe there will be direct consultations with the officers of NamRA and whoever has problems. Society, we cannot always make statements and repeatedly, you understand, drilling on people's minds. But I believe all those who spoke here, they have drills in the minds of all of us. I thank you very much.
Customs is one of the 2 operational departments within NamRA, and in today's interview we are joined by the Head of Customs and Excise, Mr. Wilbroad Poniso, to deliberate on its functions. Well, good day, Mr. Poniso, and thank you for joining us today.
Good day to you, and how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Very well.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little briefing on the main functions of the Customs and Excise Department?
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for your question. Well, the Department Customs and Excise is a department within NamRA. It derives its mandate from the Customs and Excise Act 20 of 1998, and also from the NamRA Act 12 of 2017. Well, the function of the department surely is to collect revenue on behalf of the state for its developmental agendas. And the other function is to protect society. All the goods that comes into the country goes through the hands of a customs official. And then the third function is to trade, is to facilitate trade on behalf of ourselves and equally our traders. And then the fourth function that I may mention is in respect of the collection of trade data in terms of statistics that you may need for policymakers to make decisions in respect of the movement of goods that comes into the country and that leaves the country. Thank you.
Awesome. You mentioned some policies as well. Can you maybe give us a little briefing on the few policies that are in place that enables the operation of the department?
Well, you know, NamRA is in its infancy stage. We are 22 months old. So whereas as a department, we are equally busy looking at the policies that we need to align. Among the policies that we have so far had been approved by the management committee are policies of the advance ruling. We have got the valuation policy, it's in place. So we have also had the reward system policy that have been approved. So it's quite a number of policies we are also working on to ensure that surely trade facilitation is enforced, or there is some compliance. Amongst them as well, the one we have just had recently, we had a number of the addition of other border posts that had to be gazetted, that have been gazetted of late, of which in those areas we never had some. We had operations, customs operations, but they were not gazetted, those borders. But now we have added them to be gazetted to ensure that there is compliance in terms of the national laws as well. So that is where we are standing, but we're still keeping.
Awesome.
We're still keeping on developing, not developing per se, but we're still managing with a team. I've got a very good team that I'm working with, that they are very supportive, but we are on the right direction, we are on the right track, and surely we will definitely be there one day.
Great.
Yes.
Now, what are some of the services that are provided by the Customs and Excise Department?
Yes, we do provide a number of services, like I've indicated, that we are responsible for the movement of goods in respect of the goods that are imported, the imports, the export of goods, transit goods, and the goods that are deposited in board and warehouses. We are responsible for that. Besides that, we also enforce national legislations on behalf of other departments, provided the pieces of legislation is associated with the movement of goods across the borders. We also ensure that in respect of restrictions and prohibitions of goods that have got to enter, we have got to enforce that. So really, surely we have got a very vast mandate as a department.
Yeah.
And equally as well, we are responsible for the registration of licensing of brokers, bonded warehouse operators, manufacturers. We are responsible. And equally as well, we are responsible to ensure the enforcement of rebates, general rebates, industrial rebates, and individual rebates. Yourself, when you travel, let's say to outside Namibia, when you bring your goods, then we should be able to ensure that you enjoy the rebates that may be granted to you. Equally as well, if we have got bigger companies that comes in, rebates are applied through the normal procedures, most especially the manufactured one, through the normal procedures, and then they are granted. And we ensure that they are enforced, because the goods enter through the border. A border would be, we've got land borders, we've got sea, we've got airports.
Oh.
Those are all regarded as borders that whereby we ensure that our staff members are there, that they should be able to take care of all the goods that comes in.
Yeah.
Well, those which do not comply or do not meet the requirements of importation, in most cases, they are stopped.
Yeah.
So until the requirement has been met, that's when we can be able to process. You see, when you look at us, when you look at customs as such, you know, our main focus at the border is revenue collection and trade facilitation. But however, we had to ensure that you equally, an importer or exporter equally meets the other agencies' requirements in terms of exportation or importation of such goods. So if a requirement is not met, we'll definitely have to stop the consignment until the requirement is met. Yeah.
So in this case, you are very much in agreement with the fact that the presence of customs officials at entry points are very critical, right?
Yes, very much critical, because if customs officials are not at the borders, you will definitely have got a floodgate of undesirable products in our markets, of which amongst them is security. Like I've indicated, there's nothing that comes into the country or leaves the country which does not go into the hands of a customs official. So security, we are the first line of security in respect of the movement of goods, that we should be able to know what type of goods that enters into the country.
Yeah.
And equally as well on health aspects, the goods that comes in, are they not coming here to destroy our beautiful nation and nature like drugs?
Yeah.
Nobody would love to be associated, him or herself, with drugs. That is why you have seen of late that we have made a number of interceptions at Trans-Kalahari and at our international airport, of which that is the work of a customs official, that you also care for the society, despite that you have got a revenue component that we so much need in Namibia for us to be able to meet our developmental agendas. So that's the work of a customs official. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that as the head of department, you are satisfied with the staff complement in your department, and what is currently being done just to develop them. Yeah.
Thank you very much. You know, we are still in the transition. We still have got our colleagues who are still being seconded, but 90% have already been absorbed, and we are working towards this transition and ensure that everybody comes on board. And of late, we have engaged more special of our developmental partners, the IMF, the World Customs Organization, have come on board, whereby quite a number of our officials have been trained in respect of valuation and classification as well, and origin as well, in actual fact, so of which these are the trilogies in terms of revenue, because if you don't have the three of them or one of them is not there, you will not be able to collect the accurate revenue.
Yeah.
So these are some of the areas we feel that capacities should be strengthened in those areas, so that of course we can collect more revenue for our beautiful republic. Yeah.
Great. We understand that you oversaw the implementation of several modernization projects. What are some of those projects, and why do you think they're important?
Yeah. Okay. No, thank you very much. We are still modernizing. Modernization does not mean that if you modernize one initiative and you are done.
Yeah.
It's a continuous process. One of them that we have really had an impact on when we considered so much in respect of our purpose, that was that of advance ruling.
Mm-hmm.
And that was launched. And then this advanced ruling, it comprises of a number of components. Among the components that you have, it's valuation and classification and origin. It is meant for our clients outside there, that you write to us in respect if you want to import certain goods, that we issue you with a binding ruling to indicate to you that when you import these products, how much will you be able to pay, of which is binding on us, because that is provided to you. Then you can be able to know, then you prepare your budget to say,
Yeah.
when my goods arrives, this is so much that I'll be able to pay. It's a very good initiative for our clients outside there. And then we have got the UCR, the Unique Consignment Reference. This was meant to exchange data between, it's an initiative from the WCO and SACCO. You exchange data between the two countries in respect of whereby it says your export becomes my import, and if I declare 20,000 the other side, let's say in South Africa, I should declare the same 20,000 up here. Yeah. It's having a reference, a unique, that is provided onto the documentation when you exchange. Yeah. This reference is accepted on your side, and both sides you can be able to see each other's as entries. The beauty in this is that it also deters undervaluation, whereas previously what we encountered was that whenever you import your goods, halfway when you arrive towards the border, you cook up some documentation. You say you have spent 50,000, and then you come and declare on the Nambian side sometimes 10,000 or 5,000 consignment. Mm-hmm. So in the process, you would find that our beautiful republic have been losing a tremendous amount, a lot of money, revenue collection in that regard. So that is a tool that will be able to assist us in terms of data collection as well, and also revenue collection. It will really assist us. And then we have had what was the other one that you referred to? We equally had another tool which we had provided. Which one was that one? So I think those are some of the initiatives that we have had. So the other element that we have had, we have recently just launched our customs uniform, which we launched in Angwena region at Oshikango on the World Customs Day 20. So all those are initiatives that we have developed. There are some of the other tools that we had to bring on board and ensure that we become, our vision talks a lot, tells you a lot, because when you look at it and understand it, definitely you will sleep the mission, you eat the mission, and whatever you do, you will be thinking of that, because what it says, we aspire to be a world-class revenue agency. That impacts the livelihood of every Namibian. So when you unpack it, it really means a lot to you, because if you aspire to be a revenue agency, surely a lot have got to go into that.
Yeah,
you should be able to go to do a lot. What one would love to see is that one day other administration should come and benchmark with us how we are doing things. You look at that. So you see how beautiful it is, and surely I can say we're moving in the right direction. The support from the commissioner is also marvelous, so much that it encourages everybody to put more. So I hope I've addressed your question.
Yeah, you have. Thank you so much. Now, before we close off, do you have any final remarks that you would like to share with our taxpayer and traders?
Well, thank you very much for the question. What I can be able to share with our taxpayers is that we are all in this together. Namibia needs us, all of us. Let us be patriotic Namibians in respect of supporting us in the collection of revenue for this beautiful republic. The only thing they have got to do is compliance. That is the only thing that can be able to take us to be the nation that we want to be, because Namibia depend on us, us who are collecting, and the compliance from the traders. It will not save us so much if we all don't comply. If we comply, Namibia will be able to do very well in any index. And equally as well, from our side is that if there are some, if sometimes our traders or taxpayers normally gets wrong information outside there. You may find that you are smuggling a product, and this product, sometimes when you come to us, you'll find that it's duty-free. You find that the expense you have incurred for you to smuggle that product, it outweighs what you have even bought the product or goods. So it's very much better when you intend to import goods into Namibia. Our services are readily available, free of charge. We don't sell services, please.
Yeah.
They should not pay anything for any services. You just inquire free of charge at any of our regional offices. We will provide the information freely.
Yes.
Like I have indicated, the advance ruling, this is a very friendly initiative that you can sit down and budget how much you are going to pay, because then you'll have this ruling from us.
Yeah.
So these are platforms that we have opened. So the other one I have almost wanted to forget is the authorized economic operator. It's also an initiative, trade facilitation, which is also readily available to more especially the big companies, whereas your goods, when you bring them at the border, you will not be subjected to a number of stoppage that will be searching you and will accord you those benefits that your goods are released on time and surely with minimum intervention. But your goods would always enjoy preference at our borders, that you don't need to stop so much. Great. But surely we are inviting the big companies outside there to come and participate in this scheme. Surely you will not regret. They will definitely enjoy the benefits of the products that we have. That is also already being implemented. It's in place. It's just a question that we want the people to come and start using it. Yeah, sure.
Great. Well, Mr. Poniso, thank you so much for your time, and we wish you all the best in the successful execution of these modernization projects.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Now, that was the Head of Customs and Excise, Mr. Wilbroad Poniso, briefing us on the functions of the Customs and Excise Department. We'll be back after a short break.
We administer tax and custom laws so efficiently and consistently. We are ethical, effective in changing lives. We are there for you. This is your revenue. NamRA, serving with passion to positively impact the livelihood of every Namibian.
In this edition, we introduce Oscar Likando, a senior customs and excise officer from Katima Mulilo in Zambezi region, who recently started at Oshakati regional office.
My name is Likando Oscar, a senior custom officer. I joined customs in 2012 at Katutwi border post. I was transferred to Katima Regional Office in 2015, where I served under the section called enforcement. In 2020, I was transferred to Winela border post, where I served under clearance section. What motivates me at work is having been surrounded by fellow colleagues who gives you a better smile when doing the best job motivates me very well. The other thing that also motivates me is reaching my target on time on a specific task that I'm being assigned to do motivates me very well. My future plans is to develop a good career of positive achiever in whatever I'm doing. So that is my future plan. Then my message to the viewers is to remain positive in whatever you are doing. So whatever you are being told to do by your supervisor, remain positive. Don't be negative. Because if you become negative, it means that you won't achieve the achievement or the goals of an organization, which is NamRA.
Now here are the important due dates to take note of. are the trivia of duties.
Did you know? According to the Income Tax Act 24 of 1981 as amended, Namibia has a source-based tax system. Income from a source within Namibia or deemed to be within Namibia will be subject to tax in Namibia, unless a specific exemption is available. Individual income tax is computed based on income received. It is usually classified as a direct tax because the burden is on the individuals who pay it. Taxpayers are assessed on their taxable income, which is derived by deducting exempt income and allowable deductions from gross income.
NamRA, saving with passion.
By now you are aware that NamRA is deliberate about taxpayer trader education. In the next insert, we'll show you how one can file an individual income tax return on ITAS.
Good day, my name is Nesla Watanawa and I'm going to take you through on how to file your individual tax return on ITAS. Step 1. Log into the portal. Step 2. Click Return. Step 3. Click on My Return. Step 4. Search your return. Step 5. Select the return you want to submit. Step 6. Click on File the Return button. Step 7. Confirm on normal form for individual. Step 8. Scroll down to Schedule 3 for employment. Step 9. Open Schedule 3, click on Salary, Wage Amount, and click outside the box for the figure to appear. Step 10. Compare your figures. Ensure that the gross total amount corresponds to the Payee 5 or the Pay-As-You-Earn and pension. Step 11. Go to Schedule 17 to go check if the payee deducted is corresponding. Step 12. Go to Schedule 24. Indicate if you are the owner of the house you are residing in. If yes, click on yes. If no, provide the owner's name and tax number. Also, indicate if you are in the possession of any company vehicle. Step 13. Scan your Payee 5, retirement annuity, or study policy and upload. If you do not have a retirement annuity or study policy, scan your Payee 5 and upload. Declare once you are done. Enter the verification code shown above and submit your return. Congratulations! You have successfully uploaded your income tax return. Thank you for watching.
NamRA. Saving with passion.
Here's today's question. When is the due date for income tax returns for salaried persons, pensioners, and other individuals? Do email your answer to NamRA Kachenu at namra.org.na. The due date for submission is on the 23rd of February 2023, and our winner will be announced in the next episode.
Before we sign off, we are 3 days away before we announce the final list of those who will be presenting at NamRA Talks. Now note that the event will be taking place on the 2nd of March 2023 and it will be live streamed. Now that's all we had for this edition of NamRA Kachenu. We'll be back in 2 weeks, but until then, goodbye.
Giving fairness and equality to our nation. We appreciate the difference in ethnicity. We have